Hi there. I wanted to show everyone how my steampunk doll turned out. I showed the beginning of this assemblage. I was going to do another in-process video, but as I got to working on it, I just finished it up. So here it is. Here's the finish. It's kind of hard to see the entire doll. I'm going to start here from the bottom. This was in here was the inside of a Seth Thomas clock, and I just love it that these gears, there's a winder to the clock on the back, and I was able to salvage it enough that the gears will actually, when I wind that winder, you can see the gears here actually turn. I just love it. This part, the torso part of the doll, was from a doll that I got at the bottom of a St. Vinny's bin. They had a whole box, one of those plastic Sterilite boxes. Well, actually, they had two of them full of these type of dolls that were, it's not a Barbie doll, but it's similar to a Barbie doll. It's a fashion doll. And I was so thrilled to know that this doll has a voice box on it here. And I have to kind of hold it right here, right where this flower is, to brace it, and then I get the back of any tool. And because of the way that I painted it and I had to glue in there, I think some glue seeped in there somehow, and it's kind of hard to press that button. But if you do, can you hear that? I've put it over by the computer microphone so you could hear it a little bit better. And I'm going to have to tell my swap partner, because when I just press on it with my hands, I can't get it to the voice to work. But if I use an implement here to... So that part kind of disappoints me in a way. It still works, but I guess it's just a matter of doing these more. This is kind of my first assemblage doll. Assemblage. This was supposed to be a paper doll. But as I got to working on it, I kind of deviated from the rules. I think it's because I tore apart this clock and I fixed gears, and from then on I was hooked. Here's the dog down here. I was going to call this like a Dorothy doll from like the Wizard of Oz. And in fact, I think that's just what this doll is, a Wizard of Oz doll. But as I was researching Frank Baum, who wrote the Wizard of Oz, I found the story that he wrote was the Patchwork Girl. And I'm going, oh, I'm going to call this the Patchwork Girl, because she's really a steampunk doll, and she's put together from all different patches from different pieces like this. This was a part of the clock too, but this tag here, which I see as being a purse, was the circuit board from the inside of that mouse that I tore apart. And the retractable cord came from the mouse. And I glued it down here to the back of the dog, so she's walking her dog and carrying her purse. The only thing that I have on here that I bought, that I purchased, I have some industrial chic charms that I attached to her little top up here, just to add some more steampunk feel to it. And I did one on the back. The crocheted piece is really kind of a neat piece of crochet that I found at a yard sale last year, and it's all handmade. It's really neat. And I painted the top part of it here copper, and then I left the flowers and the back as a cream color. Her head here is the face of a barometer. And I love it that you can't see it very well, probably. Maybe you can if I hold it close enough and still enough. Up here it says fair, change, and stormy. And I love it that it has, you know, those words on her face. I was going to put some blue teardrop bling on her face for her eyes, but when I did that, it just didn't look right to me. So I left I left her just as she is. Her hair came from inside the Seth Thomas clock. It was wound on a little round piece that was inside of the clock, and actually here, the scissors that I made on the back of her, I made the scissors out of the scissors were cut from a CD. I showed you one of those CD pieces in the first video. I made scissor blades out of the CD, and these two handles were actually a part of that round piece that all that copper was wound on. Like it was wound the copper wire, that's her hair, was wound on a piece, and this was on the one side and this was on the other side, and when I took it apart to get to the copper, I had these two pieces left. And I go, oh, scissors handles. You can see my flowers here. I have them in her hair. Hopefully you can see them. I have flowers around here in her hair that were made from that clamshell that came in on the clamshell plastic packaging that came on the new mouse that I bought. I have bling up here. This was just some that I had in my stash. And then for her collar, I had a hard time getting this doll disassembled. So when I removed her head, I had to cover up her neck here. So I used some bling sort of as a choker around her neck, and then I have a little bow there. Down on, she's mounted on a wooden stamp, the base of a wooden stamp, which was that hydrangea. I removed the rubber part of the stamp and used the base wood because she needed to be a I wanted her to be a standing doll, and she does stand like that. But this is the base of a stamp, and I believe I got this stamp at a thrift store, so, and I'm going to document it on the bottom, but I thought that was so cool that I could use the base of, so if you ever want to know what to do with your wooden stamps, if you remove your stamp part, well, save them, because they invariably come in handy for something or other. All of the little pieces around the base of the piece, all of these little screws and nuts and bolts on the ground here were all parts that were inside of the clock or the mouse or the barometer that I took apart. She's got some doll shoes on here. I painted them copper. Those are those rubber doll shoes that I showed you, and I just glued them. I used E6000 glue. It's become my new best friend. I used a whole bottle of it on this entire piece. So she's glued together with E6000. I keep saying E600, it's E6000. But look at the little dog. The doll head had big braids, two big braids on the original doll, and I removed one of the braids and made a dog tail out of it. Big old bushy tail, and a little foil metal flower here on his tail, and a bow and some bling here. This for his nose, I used another little winder that was on that Seth Thomas on the back of that clock. So here she is. I really hope that my swap partner likes her, but knowing who this is going to, I do give her permission to do with her whatever she wants. if she wants to pass it on to someone else, I do not have any problems with that, but I would ask that she would pass it along to somebody in our group who appreciates dolls and would love something wacky like this. But she may want to keep it. I don't know. I don't know what her feelings are going to be about this. Because like I said, this was supposed to be a paper doll and I got carried away. So my feeling is if she would want to pass it along to somebody else, I have no problem with that. But I wish that if she does do that, she would do a random act of kindness, a rack to somebody within our art group. I just love it that these gears turn. I think that's so fun, and I love that her voice box will work if it needs a strong push though on the back. There's no place like home. So not all dolls have to be beautiful, and what I like about doing an assemblage like this is this doll is made up of bits and pieces that I found, and it's kind of representative of our lives in general. We're kind of made up of bits and pieces that happen in our lives, and some of them are pretty flowers, some of them are kind of rough ground, and we have some circumstances in our life that we need to jump over, but we have a purse, and we've always got a friend to tag along with us. The little doggy here is cute. And there's the scissors if she wants to do some art, and she's got her hairdo, and there are flowers in our lives. And I'm just getting away chattering about nothing right now. Really fun to do this. Just really fun. It needs to be mailed off by tomorrow, so I'm getting ready to put up the video to show everybody the review of it, and getting ready to send it off to my swap partner. How fun this was to do.